Welcome to the Romance Your Tribe podcast with me, Janet Beckers, where every episode is about action, creating an online business you absolutely love, and bringing joy to the work you do. Let's get this party started. Hello, Janet Beckers here with Romance Your Tribe podcast. And in fact, I should probably rename this to Romance Your Three Tribes podcast, because that's what I'm going to be talking about today, is what actually is a tribe, and what is a tribe when it comes to business, and what are the three tribes, because there are actually three tribes that you need to create around your business to be able to succeed with far more ease. So let's go into that. And so I also wanted to let you know I've got some more training for you on this. So I'm just going to cover this so you understand what the three tribes are, but to really dive in deeper, to be able to really see what you need to have in place to make it work. I've got some really good training for you. If you go to romanceyourtribe.com/AYT webinar, it's on demand, which means you can watch it now, you can get the recording, and I go into detail step by step with really good action steps for you to be able to take this week so you know exactly how to attract the three tribes. Okay, so just know you've got that, but now let's get stuck into it and let's cover what those three tribes are. So first of all, what is a tribe? It's quite a controversial sort of phrase to use, I have found, because for some people it becomes that this is what we call ourselves and it can only be used for my particular racial group. So if you're in one of those groups, I just want to let you know this is not me being disrespectful. For me as an Australian, it's not a term that we use for our First Nations people. They are referred to First Nations, or they're referred to as mob. They talk about their mob. So it's a different language. So if that is you, know that I'm coming from the place of actually tribes and actually the culture of tribes. And my background, which is way back, is Irish, it was very much a tribe. Tribes are a big part in the history there. So that's not the definition that I'm using of tribes here. The definition I'm using of tribes is what is actually common to tribes throughout the world, and then tribes to your, to you and your business, and also to you personally. So when it comes to the characteristics that make up gatherings of people, communities of people, they really fall into these categories. Every single one has a common purpose, a reason for being. Now, if this comes to your business, that is going to be very much about the purpose that you have is around your business, about creating whatever your business is around. So if you're in the health niche, it might be the purpose is to get super fit, or the purpose might be to have boundless energy or great gut health, or whatever it is that you do. If you're in the business space, the purpose of the tribes around your business, like mine, might be around how to create freedom of where you grow your business from. That might be the purpose that gets people together. They have a common purpose, a common mission. Okay. Now, it's so that's the common purpose or mission. There is also common values, like the way that we do things. And this is very much to do with culture with tribes that happen, whether they are geographic tribes, cultural tribes, whether they are business tribes, whether they are the tribes that you hang out with in a community in your own geographic area. There is going to be core values. So, and it means that if you hang around with us, this is what you believe. This is what we stand for. So in your business, for example, it might be, and I'll use the health niche again, just off the top of my head. It could be, if you're here and you're about getting strong, you might fit into the tribe that goes, and you know what? We believe in like hustle hard, lift heavy things, and if it take whatever it takes, and whether that's going to be some kind of, you know, cortisones that you might use, or it might be to do with, you know, I'm just thinking big buff guys that are just going to go hard. Like that might be your gang, okay? That might be, if we're here, this is what we believe. Or you might be into health and strength, but what we believe in my tribe over here, for example, might be we're not into lifting heavy things. We're into feeling really, really strong so that we've got lots of energy and we've got the energy to do whatever we want to do in life. That might be your vibe. And the more natural and low key way you do it, the better. You can see how, if I'm really wanting to get strong, I'm going to look at those two tribes and go, pussies, I don't want them. I'm over here with the big guys, or vice versa. So that's where you go, this is what our values are. So you're running for the same purpose, but this is what we believe here. Now, because you're going what we believe here, people will then end up creating their own language. And so the language that you use is the language that lets people know I belong to this group, because we have like inside jokes, we have common language that we use. And by me using that language, I understand that I belong here in this group. And so culturally, that's why you will have in really small countries that are side by side completely different languages. Even though here in Australia, we might have fitted 5 of those countries just in the state that I live in, So it's like we only have the one language. So you can understand how there can be a language that develops in around your business. That language, you introduce that language. For example, if you hang around me for long enough, you will start using the words like starblazer, stargazer. You will start using words like scarce-sighted. These are languages that I have actually created, decided on, and given them meaning. And so you can do the same. It all comes to do with the framework. So this is a core part of a tribe. And also they have somewhere to hang out. It could be geographically or it could be online. You create that space, okay? It could be, this is the private Facebook group where just my tribe of customers are. An example. So you're creating the space. So these are the things that make up a tribe. So now let's look at the 3 tribes that you have in any successful business that is going to be, well, any successful business really, but let's talk about a successful business online, and it's the tribe that you have as the business owner. So the very first one is the one that we normally think about, and that is that beautiful community that you draw to you, which is of customers and potential customers. This is where a lot of your energy goes into, to attracting them. So that's, if you think about those characteristics, that's where you're going to be saying, like, this is what we do around here. This is what I help people. And this is what we believe. Okay. And this is some in words so you can kind of feel like you're part of the cool club. And, come over here and hang out. Here's my mailing list, for example. So this is the way that you're attracting your tribe, but you've got to be super duper clear on those things. Like, what do you stand for? What is the purpose that people are being drawn to you for? That's where all of your marketing messages come in. So that is one important tribe. I help you to do that. And in that training that I mentioned at the beginning, I go into a lot of detail on about what you need to have in place to be able to make that easier. So that's number 1. Now, the second tribe, a lot of people don't have this. And this is actually one of the steps that I have very, very strategic ways to attract the second tribe, to develop a relationship with the second tribe, and to create success. Not just for my business, but my clients follow the exact steps. And this is what gets them great results and also helps them to create a support network around them. Now, this second tribe are the people in your industry who will enthusiastically promote you to their audience, their tribe, their community of customers that they have attracted to them. So their first tribe. So how do you do that? Well, actually, it's not rocket science, and it doesn't matter if you're just really, really new in business. It doesn't matter if you really don't feel like you've got a lot to offer yet. And it doesn't really matter if you don't have an email list, if you don't have a website even. There are step-by-step ways to do this that mean you are actually with great integrity, forming very genuine relationships. That is a win-win for each person, but there is a step-by-step way to do that. But creating that tribe means that you're not going to be dependent on having to hustle so hard to get and attract that first tribe to you. They've already got them. This is your way to be able to attract them to you. So that is your second tribe. Now, what is the third tribe? Now, the third tribe, and while I think about that, let's just go back to what makes a tribe so you can apply this to the second one. Having the same purpose. You're not competitors. You're not doing the same thing, but you are passionate and have built a business around things that helps the same target market. Okay, so that's your purpose. You have similar values, and this is really, really important. You always have to do your research to make sure that you are aligned ethically and that you have a similar approach. Otherwise, using the example I gave you of the buff boys and we just want to have more energy and do it low key, you can't bring them both together. It's just going to, it's not going to attract the people who want you, okay? So you've got to get super duper clear that your messages and your values are aligned. Now, the language, you very often will have very similar language, and so you need to be able to talk their language to them and a place to hang out. So how do they contact? How do they keep in touch with their tribe of your potential clients? How do they do that so that you can then go to that same place with them and to be able to be introduced? So that is your tribe, that second one. Now let's look at the third tribe. And this is one that honestly, if you don't have this, it's really, really difficult to keep on going. And I've been doing this online gig for about 20 years now, and I know I could not have done it without this third tribe, and it is this. You need to have your own support tribe that know you and your business really, really well and can keep those little secrets that you've got and are there to support you practically and also mentally. So what do they look like? Well, some of those are going to be your staff, or you don't even have to have, I don't have staff. I have a virtual team and I use contractors. Maybe I'll have staff later on at some other stage if I need to, but at the moment, that's what works. But making sure that you've got those contractors, because if you're doing everything on your own, you're really going to limit your growth, and also you're going to burn out. And it may be the way that I started, where all I could afford at the time was, I think it was like 12 hours a month of an assistant. That's 3 hours a week. It's all I could afford to start with. Like now I've got a little team, but that's where you start. But you've got to start there. Now the other one is going to be your peers. You've got to find a network of peers who understand the purpose. So you've got the same purpose of growing your business, of succeeding. If you're in my tribe, it's going to be you want to build a successful business online that makes an impact worldwide, but allows you to just choose where you work and when, okay? So you're on the same purpose. You also want to have similar values. There's, in my sort of field, it tends to either be, you're the hustle crowd, and it's all about, it's not really, you're not necessarily building a business around the stuff that you love and making an impact. What's really, really important is that you've chosen a niche that gets a return on investment, and it's more about the numbers and the hustle. There's that crowd. And then there's the other crowd that they're not so much driven by the money. They're driven a lot more by the difference that they can make, but They want to make a shitload of money as they're doing it, okay? But that's their number one driving factor. So, and they're also really focusing on life balance that goes with that. So you can see they're very different mindsets. I've kind of hung out a lot with the first group until I realized, I don't belong here. They think I'm out of touch and I think they're out of touch. So let's just go elsewhere. So that's, for having similar values. Well, they understand your language because if they're on the same path, you have a similar language. They understand when you're talking about things like a landing page or an email list, for example, or a conversion rate. They get it. And then the other thing that you need to do is I need to have a place to hang out. So for me, I have online groups that I am part of that are my peers. I have friends in business that I meet for breakfast, and other ones that I drink too many cocktails with on a regular basis. But it's in order to support ourselves in business. So you need to create that, okay? It is your responsibility to either attract them or find the right ones and join them, because you need to have that, because it's a lonely business being the owner of any sort of business, whether it's small or large. Okay, so for me, I provide that with my Attract Your Tribe Academy clients, that we have a way. They're all on the same purpose. We have the same language. They're drawn to me because of the way that, my promise to them is that you will create the successful business and have a life and have freedom. So they're drawn for those things. And the way that we meet online is through our closed Facebook group, but also every month we have a live hot seat call on Zoom. So people get to connect with each other and they get to hear what everybody else is up to and they get to hear my guidance. So creating that space. So that's what I've done for my group. Can you be doing the same around your business? Okay, so what can you be doing so you've got that support network? So there you go. There are those 3 tribes. And I've mentioned that when it comes to a tribe, whether it is a cultural tribe, a geographic tribe, whether it is the tribe that builds around, the surf club. I mean, I say that because I've been a surf lifesaver. The culture, the tribe that builds around there, or whatever it is, might be the soccer club that you're part of. There's always going to be these tribes. These are the characteristics, just so you've got these written down so you can consciously and strategically make sure that you are creating the right things. That is that they have a common purpose. They're there for a reason. They have common values. They're there to achieve that purpose in a certain way. If you'd like, this is what we believe around here. Actually, if you go to my website, Romance Your Tribe, there is a page there called We Believe, and I share with you there the 15 things that I believe in business. So you can actually see those and you can see how I integrate those into the business. So you've got those 2 things. The next thing is there is a language that develops. And as the business owner, you can create that language purposely. So people know when they are part of your tribe. They can kind of see each other. They use the same language and also a place to hang out. And as you as the business owner, you can determine where that's going to be. You can create that. And then we have our 3 tribes, which is that tribe of perfect clients, the tribe of people who are going to help to grow your business by enthusiastically promoting you to their audience. And then that support tribe that keeps you sane and keeps you going. So I would love to hear from you. Which of these tribes work? Which of these ones are you doing well, do you think? And which are the ones where you're thinking, oh, I so need a second tribe, or I so need the 3rd tribe, or hey, I've got this 3rd tribe, but man, I do not have number 1. So I'd love to hear from you. A really great way to do that is wherever you're watching this, just comment, or also come over to Instagram at Janet Beckers. I'm kind of hanging out there a little bit more, deciding I'm going to focus there. So if you go over there, either, you can share it in your stories and you can come over and tell me in a comment, just direct message me. I'd love to hear, what is it that what were your ahas from today? Now, your action steps, your mission, if you choose to accept it, is I want you to sit down and identify what is it that you believe in your business. Like, what are the values about the way that you approach achieving the purpose of the tribe that comes to you? You can see what mine are. You can go to romanceyourtribe.com, and I think it's /we-believe. So you can just look around there. Look in there's part where it says about us, and you'll find We Believe. Go and have a look there for some inspiration to give you some ideas. You can, you'll have your own. You don't have to have as many as I did. You could have 5. Doesn't really matter. But what is it? Like, what is the values? What is the we believe here? What is the difference? If you start with that, okay, that is really going to help you to get some clarity. That helps you with the rest of your messaging and will really help you with those 3 tribes. Because once you know, like, what your values are, like why you're doing what you're doing and why you approach business the way you do, it's really going to help you to communicate that will attract those 3 tribes to you. That's your mission. That's your homework for this week, okay? And I would love to hear from you. Come and tell me, what do you believe? That's a great thing for you to come and share over on Instagram in either a story or a post or a direct message. And I'm on all the other platforms as well. So wherever you like to hang out, go there. And I'll always be on all of them at Janet Beckers. So yeah, come and tell me, like, what is it that you believe? What do we believe in your tribe? Okay, go get them, folks. And again, if you'd like to dive in deeper to get greater clarity on how to do that, I've got that free training for you. It's available now, okay? So you don't have to go and wait for when it's going live. It is there for you now, and you can get that at romanceyourtribe.com/AYT webinar. Okay, go get them, folks. I can't wait to hear from you. Bye. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I loved hanging out with you, so let's do this again. The best way to do that is to subscribe right now to Romance Your Tribe podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you'd like to dive in deeper to more episodes, great resources, and really in-depth free training, come over and join me at romanceyourtribe.com. Bye.